Hi, I'm John from GPS Training. Welcome to the latest Walk and Talk. What's happened to the sunshine? We've had this wonderful weather in England or Scotland or in the UK for the last couple of weeks, but the day I'm going to go out walking and do a walk and talk, it starts raining. Typical. Fingers crossed it gets a little bit drier as we go on. So what are we going to be walking with today? We're going to be a second time out with the Epix Gen2. So Epix Gen2 is the GPS watch with this stunning screen on it. So we're going to go for a 13.7 mile walk. What I'm actually doing is, our parent company Shepherd's Walks have got a challenge walk tomorrow. So I'm actually going out and waymarking the route ahead of that walk. So first of all, we need to get the course on the watch. So just a few moments ago, I transferred it into Garmin BaseCamp and I transferred it via the Connect app. So let me quickly show you how I did that. So what I've done, I've just imported what's called the GPX file of the event into Garmin BaseCamp. I'm just actually just overlaid on some open source mapping. Now you can see it's a slightly unusual route. Normally the challenge walk comes this way around and up through the wood here and comes back round as a circular walk. Because this wood is actually closed due to the severe weather we've had in the UK, there's a lot of heavy machinery in there. We're having to just change the route for this year. So we're going to come up this way. It'll be quite interesting to see how the GPS watch performs here, because actually GPS watches or GPS units don't like going out on a leg and coming back on the same leg. So it'll be quite interesting to see how it performs during this point. We do this bit of a loop on Simonside and then we come back round and come back down to the river. So it's here as this GPX file. So what we need to do first is just export it from Garmin BaseCamp. So just export the selected user data, which is actually just a challenge walk, and we're just going to call it Coquet Valley Challenge Walk 2022. And I'm actually just going to, it doesn't matter where I put it, I can just put it on my desktop, I can do. And I just export it. So I've exported it onto my desktop. So again, here it is on my desktop, Coquet Valley Challenge Walk. Now you need to get this onto the app, onto your mobile phone somehow. So I'm an Apple user, so I can just send it wirelessly. Again, you can attach it onto an email and email it to your mobile phone. So I'm just going to share it with AirDrop. It should hopefully bring up my mobile phone. Okay, I'm just going to send it onto my mobile phone. When you send it, this GPX file, it says what app do you want to open it with. You can open it up in what's called the Connect app, and you can see it overlays it on the map. You just need to rename it quickly, because by default it gives it a different name. Just rename it, and you see it overlaid there on the map, and also you've got your elevation data below. Once you've done that, you literally press the three blue bars at the top, send to device, select which device you want to send it to. In my case, the Epix, and now it's sent and we're all ready to go. So now we've got the course on the watch, we just need to load that course into Navigate. We also need to record where we've been to keep all the stats of the actual walk that we're doing. So I'll quickly show you how we can do that. So on the watch, we need to just press this top right-hand button, press the top right-hand button, and it takes the main navigation experience. Now we can do a number of things here. You can start the recording away, but what we'll do is to actually load the course first. So just press this middle button on the side. Just hold down for a couple of seconds. We get various options here, and one is navigation. Again, top right to select navigation. We come down, we're just looking for courses. Look for courses, again, top right to select courses. And there it is, second one down, Coquet Valley Challenge Walk, 13.78 miles. Just press it again there. And what do we want to do? We just want to press it again to do course. And that will load that in there. You'll notice straight away the touchscreen is disabled when we're navigating with this. So it's a touchscreen watch, but when we're navigating it disables the touch screen, it does. Next thing we need to do is just start recording the course, which is going to be the record of where we've been. So we just press that top left hand button again, and you can see you get that little green, which tells us that we're actually recording. Here we can see it's overlaid on the map, and we can see the turn-by-turn routing there. We're a little bit just off that course there, aren't we? And when we're navigating, we can just go through the various pages. That's pointing to the arrow where we need to go into. Distance, the end of the course. There's elevation, so we're right at the start. We've got a bit of climbing to start off with. And there we are there, distance remaining, and time when you get back, etc. Note all these pages have a little arrow on it, which is what we're going to follow. So, the Epix and Fenix debate. It's a big debate that's raging online, isn't it? I find it quite amusing, really. Fenix and Epix, they seem two very different classes of people who want one or the other. Really, what's the history of the Epix is, the Fenix has been there for many years. There was an Epix many years ago, and this is the Epix Gen2. Key thing with an Epix is it's got this phenomenal bright screen on us. So many people with the Fenix is very much like an outdoor GPS screen, which looks quite poor indoors unless you've got the backlight on it, or alternatively it looks great outdoors if the sun's out on it. But a lot of people compare these to smartwatches, very much like the Apple Watch and other such ones. So what they brought out is the Epix 2, which has the same technology screen that we have on the Apple Watch or many of the Android phones, and they put it on a GPS watch for the outdoors. Therefore we get far more colours and a far brighter screen, but the consequences of this is we get reduced battery life. So when we're getting 18 days out of a Fenix, just use it as a smartwatch, we're down to 6 days of battery life when we're using it as a smartwatch. So we've got a third of the battery life that we have on the Fenix. But the consequences of this fantastic bright screen is it looks really very it looks stunning. The reality of it looks absolutely stunning, especially on a day like today when it's fairly miserable. On a bright sunny day, yeah, a Fenix is going to be better. On a dull day or when it's dark, the Epix is going to look better. So a lot of people are going to go in one camp or the other. I've done walking talks, done 2 walking talks with the Fenix, 7. This is my second walking talk with the Epix, and to be honest, each of them have got good points and bad points. The interface, I must add, is exactly the same on each of the watches. So again, I'll discuss some of the pros and cons of it as we're out walking. We're actually just heading up to a place called Whitton Hill Head. This is where we're heading before later on the Simonside Hills. We're going to have this high ground here, Lorden Shores, up onto the top of Simonside, and that's our loop that you will have saw when we planned that on the computer. So a fair bit of climbing, as you saw in that initial gradient as we climb our way up. It's quite interesting because again, this is where a watch really comes in, measuring your heart rate, measuring your fitness, measuring your pace. And again, for something like this where I kind of know where I'm going because I've arranged it, I've walked it a number of times before, and I just want that reassurance and the stats of the walk. This is where a watch like this really does come into its own. So I'm on that leg out and the leg back again. So remember when I planned it on the computer, said the GPS or the GPS watch doesn't like when we go out on the same course and coming back on it. And actually I'm really impressed by the way this Epix has performed during this, because I think you guys realise, more than likely you will do, when I film, I go ahead of myself, set up my camera, come back, walk back 100 yards, walk into shot, turn it around, walk out the shot, come back for my camera. So what I'm actually been doing is navigating each way along that leg. So when I turn around and walk back into my camera, my Epix is then navigating me thinking I'm on the return leg. Then I turn around, walk back into shot, and after about 10 or 15 yards, the Epix is realising what I'm wanting to do and is then navigating me the correct way that I'm navigating it. And again, you think I'm doing that 4 times on one of my past shots there. It quickly turned around 10 or 15 yards, understood what I was wanting it to do and navigated it. Now that's quite different than what we see on a handheld GPS unit. So in my experience, this watch is performing a lot better. So look at the cloud. Not much sunshine today. We've now climbed up into the cloud. It reminds me of the heather's just coming out to flower. I think it's 2 or 3 weeks early really, but it's such a dry year so far. I suppose that's understandable of why the heather's coming out to flower. So I'm going to bear off here to the right and I'll catch up with you in a little while. So we'll have a quick look through the main navigational pages that we're going to see on this Epix. So you can see the next turn is 1.22 miles away. This is actually the map page. The map is actually just a little bit dull, but then when we go through the pages, you'll see. So it's 10:40 time of day, and we've got this directional arrow here on every page showing the direction that we need to be walking in. So we've got that. So this is the actual Coquet Valley Challenge walk. We're on course. Distance remains 10.3, and that's the directional arrow that we follow. Again, this is one of your main navigational pages. You'll just see, if you wait a few seconds on a page, it just dims out because it's just saving that battery, because it is a power hungry watch. You can see here the elevation that we've done so far. We're dropping down and we climb back up, and we do climb up there. So again, it's the elevation data that we can see. Distance remained 10.3 miles. ETA is going to get back at 22.3. Total ascent so far 1,143 feet. We're at 1,162 feet, and we've descended 248 feet. Again, every page you've got this little red arrow pointing the direction we need to go to, distance walked and vertical speed as well. And then I've just got this as grid reference. We can change all these pages up to our personal requirements. No heart rate. I'll put my finger on it, it might get my heart rate off my finger. It's there you are. So it's just getting it off my finger. Normally just gets it off your wrist. And then back to the map page. Again, this is the only page that we've got an arrow pointing north up, where on the other pages we've always got this little red arrow pointing the direction that we need to be walking in. So it's really nice and easy. Those are your main pages. That's the page you'll tend to navigate on the majority of the time. Or if you're kind of a little bit stuck, you might jump onto the map page and you can see exactly where you are within that course. So those are the main pages that you're going to see on this watch when you're navigating. We'll look a bit later at the smartwatch pages. So I don't know if you can see the path behind us is the Sandstone. It's quite unusual. The Simonside Hills, which is where we are today, which is just above where GPS training are based, is quite unusual for Northumberland because it's sandstone. The Cheviot Hills, which is the higher ground just north of here, which is what Northumberland's known for, the Cheviot Hills, is on volcanic. So that's a volcanic range, quite fertile. And you'll see when I've been walking up there with other walking talks, it's quite grassy. It's like a strawy grass that we have on the top of the Cheviot Hills. Where what we have on Simonside is, because it's far less fertile, because of the sandstone, we get the heather-clad hills of the Simonside Hills we do. So you can really see it's like a beach. You can see sand just lying everywhere. And the Sandstone Crags just above me here are quite famous for the climbers. So because they like climbing on the sandstone because it's nice and warm even in the winter time, isn't it? So we're going to actually climb it. So we've actually dropped down. If you remember the loop, we're dropping down. We're doing the lower level around here. Then we're going to skirt back on the higher ground. It's just lifting a little bit of the mist. So fingers crossed when we get up there, we might get one or two views. So climbed up to the top of Simonside. Look at the stunning views. So it's about 1,400 feet above sea level we are. Normally get some stunning views. Maybe I could edit a few pictures from the top of Simonside into the video and then you can see how nice it actually looks. But the cloud is down on it today. Watch is performing really, really well. And again, it's ideal for this kind of walk. I said this at the start, but you know, if you're an ultra runner or you're doing an event that you kind of is semi-way marked, or alternative, you kind of know where you're going, a GPS watch is absolutely fantastic. I actually, 2 weeks ago tonight, I actually did the Century Way Ultra, which was a 45-mile event, which I did in 14 hours. I was quite pleased with that, really. It was very, very hot on Saturday. We started at midnight and I finished 14 hours later, so 2:30 on the Saturday afternoon. And I navigated with this Epix watch that I've got on my wrist, and I really thought a great navigation experience. I travel in lightweight, kind of just literally carry my water, waterproof jacket, waterproof trousers, a spare jumper, a little bit of food, and of course my sunscreen. And the Epix watch was absolutely fantastic. I just pre-walked it before the event, so I kind of knew where I was going, but it gave me the stats, the reassurance, especially during the night time, that I was going in the right direction. I met a few people who were lost. Like, it was quite embarrassing, really. I did tell them about GPS training during the event. So for those kind of things, I think a watch is brilliant. I've actually not brought a handheld with me today. I'm completely handheld free, just navigating with the watch. And again, in this kind of weather where you're quite easy to lose your bearings, really gives that great reassurance that you're in the right place. Little beeping, you hear it there, so that's beeping about either off course or on course, and that's the navigation experience with the watches. It draws your attention to it when you're either off the course or you're back on the course. It is. So a quick look what it says. It says I'm off course, so it's usually down to my own route planning. A little beep again, I'm back on course. So that's what you get all the time. It just vibrates on your wrist a little bit of a beeping noise, and it tells you whether you're off course or on course. So look at this, normally stunning views. Sadly not today. I keep saying this heather's out really early. We've had this stunning weather over the last month, so can't really complain. And this is the highest point of the walk, just under 1,500 feet above sea level. Done a number of walking talks here before and always show off the great scenery, but sadly that's not the case today. So we're just about approaching the wonderful Dove Crag, and they look down on Simonside Hills, Simonside Forest rather, and also Rothbury down below. So my famous story about these rocks here at Dove Crag is, many years ago I appeared on Countryfile. People might know Countryfile. I took John Craven for a walk up on the Simonside Hills. I think I'll drop a picture in here. We walked all the way up from the car park that's just down below, walked up to this point, and the camera crew said it'd be really nice if we got a picture of you eating your lunch on this rocks here. So that sounds perfect, doesn't it? So John Craven, I said, I've not got any lunch with me. So John Craven ate my sandwiches here. So John Craven sat here on these rocks and ate my sandwiches. If anybody knows me, I'm less than impressed by somebody eating my lunch, but it was John Craven, my childhood hero. So a cracking day's filming. Again, I think it's on YouTube somewhere. I maybe put a link into this, my walk with John Craven in my younger days it was. So yeah, a lovely day out it was. And in the days we had camera crews and sound people, the world has kind of changed since those days, isn't it? So as we drop down, we come out at mist again. So it's nice to get a clear view of what we see around us. We're back on that leg now. So remember we came up on that leg and we're going back on the leg. And the water's got no problem. It's just jump back on. We're on course. It's not takes off in the wrong direction. So it's really performing very, very well on those legs where we go up and then we come back on the same one. So far on this walk and talk, we've very much been looking at the watch as a navigation device. And that's what it is, a navigation device. But with these watches, they're really also a smartwatch. You find that you're wearing it a lot of the time just as a smartwatch. So what we're going to do now is just look at the smartwatch features and look what the watch looks like and the accessibility of those smartwatch features. So we're on the navigational pages. We've seen we press the buttons to go up and down on those navigational pages. To get out of those navigational pages, we just press this bottom right hand button, just hold it down for a couple of seconds and you see it goes to the normal watch faces that you see every day. So here's the normal watch face, 20 hours of battery life because we've got the GPS on, gives you the date and how high you are of sea level. Then we just press the upward and downward arrow to go into the smartwatch features. Now, when you're using it as a smartwatch, majority of the time you use the touchscreen. To unlock the touchscreen, you just hold these two buttons down, that's top right and the bottom left, you can see now the touch screen is on, so I can just go up and down with the touch screen. So you can look at the various options here. So there's my steps, 22,000 steps. I tap on that, it takes me into my steps, and you can see how many steps I've done today. Now you can swipe down, and there's my steps per day: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is today. Again, I can scroll up to go over that, and you can see there's 3 pages of steps. You can see there's a line there, and there's my average distance per day during the week. Now to come out of this anytime, I can just swipe away to my left, and it takes me back to that main menu. There's my heart rate, sunset, all the various basic pulse ox, the oxygen, my diary, because it's synced with my my mobile phone. I'm waymarking, not in office. So you can see John waymarking, not in office today. So you can see all my various things. So tomorrow all day, Coquet Challenge walk. This is pulling the data off my diary. So because it's synced and it's a smart, so again, I can just swipe away from that left to take me back there. Notifications, these are my smart notifications that come up, text messages, these are my live chat off the website, WhatsApp and Twitter, of course, music controls, various bits and bobs. So again, to go into any of these, I can just say, I love this body battery, it tells you how you are doing. So start the day at 93 and I've now dropped to 42. So I've descended quite a bit. Again, I can see with my stress levels, there's not much stress about doing this job, is there? It just shows me there's 2 pages, and then I can swipe from the left to take me out of this, and that's the way that we just go through those. So really nice to use that touchscreen. Again, if you ever want to lock this touchscreen, same press the top right and the bottom left, just hold them down, and now that's the touchscreen off it is. So that's more when you're doing activities. To get back to our navigational pages, press and hold that bottom left button again, and that takes us back to our navigation page, and here's the main page that we've done. Now again, I've switched that touch screen off, so it's not going to work. So we can see where we are here on the map. Just this wood on the right hand side. I'm just going to turn right and follow that path down, and again, various pages we've looked at all day long. So it shows I need to go left, even though I'm going to go right, so my way marker must be a little bit off to the left there. And thankfully not much more climbing. There's a little bit of a climb on the other side of the valley, but not that far to go. So it says we're going to get there at 10 past 3. We've done 9.39 miles together. It's all together. Grid reference, back to that map page. So we're just going to follow it off, go off to our right, and then we've got another 4 miles to go. It's quite interesting to see the watch as a smartwatch, because the majority of the time when we're not doing activities, that's how you're going to see your watch. And it's a really nice smartwatch. It beeps up on and we get notifications. You can manage all those through the Connect app, so you can switch on and some off. But again, you can have it so when WhatsApp messages come up on your phone, it flashes automatically on your GPS screen. So we're going to head off here, then we head off to our right hand side. So I've dropped down from Simonside, still in the mist behind me, down to the River Coquet. So I'm a place called Thropton, and this is one of the footbridges that crosses the River Coquet. So we're in Coquet Dale, the Dale of the Coquet. The source of the Coquet is up at Chew Green. If anybody's walked the Pennine Way, you'll have walked past Chew Green. There's a Roman camp there, and it goes out to the sea at Amble, it does. So it's a lovely section. This it's quite very slow running here, the River Coquet, and it just passes through here, and then about another 1.5 miles down it passes through Rothbury. So really nice section. Again, mist is still there, isn't it? Simonside Hills in the mist, but hey, that's the way it is. As we start our final drop down into Rothbury, the question has to be asked, which one have I preferred, the Fenix 7 or the Epix Gen 2? If you've seen the walk and talk I did with the Fenix 7, I really did like that GPS watch. I wasn't really looking forward to the Fenix 7. I was kind of a bit bored of the Fenix range, so when I saw the Epix was coming along, I thought, oh, I'm going to prefer this one. But when I walked with the Fenix 7 and I used it for a number of months, I really did like that Fenix 7, especially the sapphire screen and the solar charging that unit came with. So when I put this on my wrist, I didn't know whether I was going to like it or not. So, what are my thoughts on it? Once I got my head around charging a watch every 6 days and I'm using it as a smartwatch, actually there's nothing else to fault about it. It's hard when you've been used to using a Fenix 7 and charge it every 18, 21 days with a bit of sunshine. So actually you've got to think about charging it every 6, 7 days maximum. One thing I do know is I know where my charging cable is, which I used to never know where my cable was for the Fenix 7. But I think that once I get my head around, I'm charging it every 6 days, or when I'm going out for an activity. So this morning it was at 3 days battery life, so it's halfway, 50% charge. I literally plugged it in for 20-25 minutes before I went, and it pushed it up to 95%. So it charges really, really quickly, and you need to just be on top of that. So actually I'm going out for a walk, I'll just charge for 20 minutes, right? I'm kind of go out and do my 13-15 mile walk. I talked earlier on, I did an ultra event this time 2 weeks ago, 45 miles. It was no problem, you know, the battery still had 30-40% battery life at the end of it. So I've decided to go for the Epix. I'll be honest with you, the Fenix I've now sold, and I'm going to keep the Epix. I think just because of that clarity of the screen. The majority of the time it is a smartwatch, so 95% of the time I'm using it as a smartwatch. I love the brightness of the screen, I love the brightness of the notifications when it's coming there. And yeah, on a day like this, the screen quality is far superior. Yeah, on a sunny day, the screen quality of the Fenix is going to be better, isn't it? So for the kind of walking I'm doing, I'm actually, you know, an ultra event for me is like, what, 2 days walking? This has got enough charge for that. I can charge, I'm going to sleep sometime during that ultra event, so I can just charge it for my 2 hours as I'm sleeping, and I can keep this going with no problem. Now, you may or may not agree with me. I'd be interested to see what you think. Leave a comment in the comment box below. But that's the decision I've gone for. So all my colleagues at work have got the Fenix 7, Fenix 7X. My wife's got the Fenix 7S on her wrist. I'm the only one with the Epix. Maybe I just like being a little bit different. So we're just back in Rothbury here, just following the River Coquet. Our 13-mile challenge walk tomorrow is actually 14.85 miles as we speak. So fingers crossed nobody notices. By the time we get to the start and finish, it's going to be 15 miles. Oops. Anyway, actually, there'll be a mile or two running forward and backwards for the camera. But I'm still a good mile and a bit over where I should be. But that's the way it is. This is the River Coquet, so we crossed at Thropton. This is our next river crossing down in Rothbury, with the Hoff car park at the far side of it. Hoff is a flat area next to the river. This is called the Cow Hoff car park. This is where the cows would graze next to the river, and now it's been converted into a car park. So as I say, the River Coquet it just passes through Rothbury. So what I'm going to do is just get to the end. I'm going to show you how we save that course, and also I suspect the course that we've been following will have stopped by the time we get there. If not, we'll stop it, but it usually will stop as we reach the end of it. But I'll show you how we save that activity, and it will automatically sync with a Connect. Because we've hit the end of the course, we actually lose that arrow. So what I've done is just this course complete a few hundred yards further up the path, and you can see what I've done. I've lost that arrow on all these pages. So I've just got the north arrow still on the map page, but I've lost the arrow on all these pages, show me the direction. I've also lost a page with just the arrow and the distance walked in it. So that tells me we've completed the course. The final thing we need to just do is to save the activity that we've been doing. It actually looks 15.14 miles. So just press this, which stops it. Okay, so what do you want to do? Do you want to resume it? We're going to come down to save, press this top right down button on save, and that saves the course in our entirety. Now I'll give you some quite interesting stats now. So 5 hours 49 minutes 50 seconds, descent 2,500. There's the speed we've been walking at, average 2.6 miles an hour. Oh, It's going to pan through it, isn't it? Elevation, that's a true elevation graph that we've done. So we've gone up 2,552 and down 2,549. So 3 feet difference. That's not bad, is it really? Heart rate, you can see when I climbed initially, so it went up. And here's my different heart rate zones, isn't it? Training effect, which is that. VO2, recovery time 51 hours. Wow, that's not bad. Considering I'm going to do the whole thing again tomorrow, I don't think I've got 51 hours to recover, but that's what they reckon I need. Back to that. So that's all recorded and saved at the end of the day. Don't forget, when I sync my Connect app, all this information will now appear on the Connect app. So I very much hope you enjoyed the latest walk and talk with myself, John from GPS Training, with the Garmin Epix Gen 2. If you've got an Epix Gen 2 or a Fenix 7, please leave a comment in the comment box below about what you like about it and what you don't like about it, and let's see if we can help other people who are interested in buying this superb GPS watch. If there's anything you'd like me to cover in future walk and talks, also leave a comment in the comment box below, and if you can, give a thumbs up, that is very much appreciated. So until next time, have a great day and enjoy your walking.